commenting out code. What does that mean exactly? Now, I'm not talking about commenting code. That's kind of a discussion in and of itself. I'm talking about commenting out code. That's when you kind of selectively turn off some of the code in your program. In this lesson, we're going to cover 3 different ways to comment out code in your Arduino programs. They're all super easy and you're going to have them down pat in no time. We'll also show you a super helpful keyboard shortcut that's going to save you a ton of time and a way to comment out multiple lines of code using just a single value. By the end of this lesson, you'll be equipped to comment out code in 3 different ways. Stay tuned. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos like this. So here we are in the Arduino IDE, and I've got a sketch up, and all it's doing is walking through an array of pin numbers, and then it is turning on each of the LEDs attached to those pin numbers. I'm using a kit on a shield to light up the LEDs. You can see it's just kind of going back and forth. And we're just going to use this sketch to kind of demonstrate what it means to comment out different blocks of code. So let's do this. So let's say I've got a line of code in here that I don't want to be included in the program, right? When it gets uploaded. Like I just want to temporarily turn off a line of code. What do? Well, I just put 2 forward slashes in front of the line. These 2 forward slashes are called a comment. And you'll notice all of the text, all of the code after that line get grayed out. It kind of becomes this grayer color. And what this means is that this line of code is not going to be verified when we verify it, or it's not going to get included when we upload it either. So this is effectively a way to turn off a line of code. Now, you don't have to just use comments for commenting out code. You can do it to leave little notes to yourself, but this isn't about those notes. This is about specifically commenting out code and different ways to do it. Now, another way to do this exact same thing of typing // is to put your cursor where you want to comment out some code, go up to edit, and then click comment uncomment. And that'll do the same thing. I'll just undo that. Or you could select an entire code block and go up to edit, comment uncomment. But you know, having to use the mouse to do stuff is kind of a pain in the butt. So there is a keyboard shortcut for doing this. So what you do is you put your cursor on the line or lines of code that you want to comment, and then you press Control / on a PC, and it's Command / on a Mac. And what it does is it puts that comment in there for you. If you want to uncomment that line of code, you just press it again and it will toggle it back off. So it acts as a toggle. Again, it's Control / on a PC or Command / on a Mac. So I can highlight these 2 lines of code right here like this, and then Command / or Control / and I can toggle it on and off all day long. I can do it for multiple blocks of code. It's pretty handy to have, or just to know that you can do it. Now there is another way to comment out several lines of code, and that's to use a multi-line comment. That looks something like this. It's a /, an asterisk, and then you go to where you want to end your comments. You add another /, or you add another asterisk rather, and then a /. And then everything between these will be commented out. And you'll notice it's kind of a different gray. If you compare the grays, the single line comment is kind of a darker gray, and the multi-line comment is a lighter gray. I don't think there's any significance in that, but just kind of pointing that out. So that's a way to comment out multiple lines of code. Now, it's important to note that the keyboard shortcut commenting uncommenting will not work for multi-line comments. So if I wanted to uncomment this, and you see it just adds more comments when I use the keyboard shortcut. So to get rid of these, you actually have to take out the comments itself. Do you need a printed circuit board design software to move your prototype to the next level? Altium Designer is a great choice for designing PCBs, sharing your design with team members, and even getting your design manufactured. What really kind of blows me away about this software is that even though it's a super powerful tool, at the same time, it's really intuitive to use. They've got helpful video tutorials built right into the software, so you can kickstart your learning process and actually get something made. Right now, you can get a free trial to Altium Designer with our link in the description. That's right, you can test drive this super powerful software with a free trial. Just check out the link in the description. Now, there's also a third way to comment out multiple lines of code using a preprocessor directive. Now, what the heck am I talking about? Well, the preprocessor is something that runs on your program, on your sketch, before it actually gets compiled. And you can run some directives that allow some of the code to be included and some of it not to be included. The preprocessor directive I'm talking about is the if. So how would you use it? Well, it looks like this. First, you type an octothorpe. I guess that's a pound sign or a hashtag, whatever you want to call it. And then you write if, and we're going to write if 0. Then where you want the comment to end, you do another octothorpe, aka pound sign, aka hashtag, and you write end if. So this is a preprocessor directive that is going to evaluate whatever values right here. So it's like a condition, right? So it's going to say if this is true, then this code right here is going to be included when this code gets compiled. If this value is not true, the code inside this directive here is not even going to be included. So if we want this to be true, we'd write a 1. If we want it to be false, we'd write a 0. So maybe you've got some code that you're constantly kind of turning on and turning off as you're doing some prototyping. This is kind of a handy way to do it multi-line. Now you're just flipping, one little value and you can turn it on and off. And then, so just so you believe me that this actually works. So right now we've got this set to 0. So this is false. So none of this code should be running. So here's the first check I'm going to do. First, I'm just going to type in some stuff that wouldn't compile at all, right? Here's just some random numbers I'm putting in the delay function. Now, when I go up to verify, we should see an error, right? But since none of this code in here, since this is false, none of this code is going to be included, so we shouldn't see this error. Let's see if I'm just making this stuff up. Oh, hey, look at that. It didn't get included. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, now I'll tell you what, let's do this. Let's change it to a 1. So now this is true, so this code should be evaluated. Let's try this now. Oh, that's right. There's that error. Okay, so hopefully you believe me now. All right, so now what I'll do to kind of demonstrate this further is let's make this a 0 again. I'm going to go ahead and upload the code. So now what we've done is this for loop was taking the LEDs on the circuit board in one direction. It's actually a kit on a shield circuit board I'm using. It's taking the LEDs in one direction, and this for loop's taking the LEDs in another direction. Now, if you're wondering like what these for loops are doing, how to use arrays, all that kind of stuff, you can definitely check out our training program. We cover all this kind of stuff in detail. But just for now, understand that I've turned off one of these arrays. So instead of having the LEDs go back and forth, now we should just see them go in one direction. So let's check that out. All right, and so there it is. They're just, going in one direction. Now, if I make this a 1 and we upload this code, what we should see is the LEDs going back and forth. All right, so there's 3 ways to comment out code and a keyboard shortcut. Just quick review here. All right, the simple comment, single line, // comments out that line of code. The keyboard shortcut to do that is just Control / or Command / if you're on the Mac. Multi-line comments, it's a / and an asterisk, followed by an asterisk and a /. And then finally, we've got the preprocessor directive using the if. And if you don't want to include the code, you put the 0. And if you want to include it, make sure you can evaluate it to a true value, which would be 1 in this case. And then you just wrap it in the if and the end if. Well, hey, that's a wrap. I hope you found this really helpful. Thanks so much to Altium for sponsoring this video. Definitely check out the link in the description to get a free trial of the Altium software. You can give it a test drive for free. Just click that link below. Also, if you want to get more information about this lesson, you can click the link in the description and it'll take you to our website where we'll have some examples of this on the website. And also, if you're interested in diving in depth in this Arduino coding and really learning and understanding how to do it, check out Programming Electronics Academy. We've got a training program that gets you comfortable working with code and gets you coding. All right, thanks a ton and have a great one. Bye.